Oh, hello. In today's video, I'd like to talk about my experience building the Kill Team Hivestorm, the terrain kit, Killzone Volkus, right? And give you a little bit of an assembly guide. It's not that complicated, but there are a couple of things that I wanted to say, so I put together this little video just to help anybody out who hasn't got around to building their set yet. So, the first stronghold is the first thing you're guided to build in the set. It's a pretty straightforward thing. You get the wall, you glue on the other half of the sort of fuel tanks, you put on the back half of the wall to make an L shape, and then you slot in the floor, and then you, after you've got your sort of classic Games Workshop ruined building, you then make it into the full stronghold by gluing on the two little straight sides. There was no major issues. The numbers, I couldn't find C anywhere. You just have to, I think, this whole thing, I ended up doing it by eye and finding the right pieces on the sprues, which is straightforward enough. I don't like this weird open bucket. I've taken a photograph of mine here. So this is there when you glue this C2 onto C1 as per their diagram, but you're left with this weird open bucket that just looks really weird and unfinished. So I need to decide what I'm going to do about that. I thought there might be some sort of missing piece or thing that I was missing. Obviously, I care about the competitive nature of Kill Team, so I don't want to put anything on top of this that would change the shape of the stronghold and the profile of the building, right? Because I want to replicate those competitive map packs. But I'm thinking, well, my first thought was to fill it with water effects, but that'd be a lot of water effects, take a long time to dry. So my second thought was trying to fabricate something to sort of sit on that first ring there, so we keep this piece of detail, right? So like a piece of plastic that sits in here, and then to put some water effects when I'm painting the thing, like on top of that piece of plastic, so it looks like it's full of fuel or water or rainwater or whatever. Obviously it was a fuel tank at one point, but now it's exposed. Has it just filled up with rainwater or something? But as of right now, especially sort of below, if you can see my mouse, like below this line, this just looks super. This doesn't look like internal detail. This just looks super unfinished, especially here where you can kind of see the lump from where it's been pushed in on the outside, but also it's got this weird line running through it. It doesn't look right to me like the inside of a container should look. So, yeah, I wonder something about this. It really bothers me, and it's a little bit lazy, Games Workshop. You could have just given us a little piece to slot in there to make it look really cool, a little bit of detail, and yeah. Don't know. If you've got any thoughts on what to do with this little bin or open barrel or whatever, let me know, because it's like, what are you doing with yours? Am I the only person that it bugs? It really bothers me. And I figure when you build your terrain, you might think there's a piece missing because it looks really unfinished and weird. Like especially this groove here. This looks really industrial, and by industrial I don't mean like, yes, we're on the war-torn planet in the 41st millennium. I mean it looks like leftovers from the industrial process from a man named Steve in Nottingham pulling a sprue and pushing it into a mould and this sort of thing. So, yeah, I let me down, that. Second stronghold, don't follow the instructions. Just don't follow the instructions of the second stronghold. So, what the instructions say to do is to get the back plate here, glue on this side, and then to sort of slide in, it implies, these floors, but because of the shape of the floors, like I've taken another picture of mine here, you can sort of see the floor, it goes in and it has to come out, and it goes in and it comes out. And it does a similar thing on the other side. Like, you're just not slotting these in very easily. If you were trying to get them in following the instructions, you'd have to try and kind of like drop them in. The trouble is you can't really drop them in because you'd be dropping them in above all of this, and then you'd catch on these other little bits. It's a weird one. So what I advise you to do is to construct an L shape, right? So like this, and then to glue in the floor along the back wall and along the side, and along the back wall and along the side, and then glue this wall on afterwards, and then glue this wall on, right? So just change the order there so that you go 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. That's the way I would do it, and that's how I got mine together. I want to say a big thanks to Major Tom on the Discord he got his kit a little bit early, somehow. But he flagged this up for everyone on the Discord and said, look, this is a thing, don't do it this way. I did sort of, because I didn't just want to take his word for it, I did try and dry fit it and push it in the other way and see what would happen. But yeah, you don't want to, if you just mindlessly do this together, especially if the worst possible scenario, let's say you finish this step, right, and then your dinner's ready, and then you go and have dinner, and this is like some sets, and you think, right, well, I've finished at the end of a step, and then you come back, right, now what's the next step? You're going to have a bad time. So don't fall into that trap, okay? The ruins. So the ruins are weird in that they're older, and they look, when they're assembled, they look great, right? I'm not saying that they're bad terrain pieces. They look great, and they fit in with the 2 strongholds that we've made. But when you're building them, if you're not aware of what the sort of history is of these pieces, so these used to be in the starter set 40k 9th edition, and they've obviously been designed along a different paradigm. So the main sort of joint here between the 2 pieces in the L shape and here, those are these really stiff joints made up of almost teeth that bite together. I think because they were designed to be able to be assembled without glue, because it was a 40k starter box, but then again, the rest of the miniatures aren't clipped together, so it's weird. But you just need to put in a large, not a huge amount of force, and nothing more than finger strength, right? You're not having to use pliers or a tool or anything, don't be silly, but you're having to use more force than you did for the first 2 structures. So I just felt like if you weren't aware of the history of this kit and where it's come from and the fact that it was made many, many years before the other kit, you'd kind of get halfway through building this and you go, why suddenly now am I having to push harder? Have I done something wrong? And that would really confuse you. So just so you know, yes, these corner ruins do need to go together a bit firmer than the previous ones. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just an older kit designed by a different person. This floor is just a bit dodgy. So again, because these kits were designed to do loads of different things, the floor here is provided in 2 ruined sections, and these ruins are designed to look aesthetically great ruined, so that you can, you can mix and match and assemble them in loads of different ways. Obviously, because we are kill teamers trying to recreate these maps, we want to follow these directions exactly. So you're asked to mate these 2 sections of ruined floor together. It's just a bit tricky, because where they glue together, there's not a lot of contact points. Zimbad says he didn't glue his together, he just put the corner piece in, and then he glued the second one in, but that does mean that this second one is only held in by one edge, because I kind of did it that way, and then ended up kind of turning it upside down and trying to stick some glue in between. It's pretty solid now, but this is a little bit of a pinch point as well. And that's basically it, right? How long have I been talking for? It's 8 minutes and 7. So that's a perfect YouTube video length, right? Obviously, I'm going to ramble a bit more about irrelevant things because you're listening to Tabletop Impulse for some reason. And the thing we're going to ramble about is the box. Look, I know what people are thinking. There's going to be a portion of my audience going, typical 40k players, not happy with anything, always love to moan about anything, blah, 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 blah. It's funny because you only ever hear 2 critiques on the internet of people that play Warhammer. It's either that we accept everything and do everything the company tells us to, and we're total consumerist sheep, or that we complain and moan about everything and we're never satisfied. It's impossible to ever satisfy. I like to try and occupy a happy medium by moaning about some things, but this is sadly something that I want to have a moan about. So the box that the set comes in is bad. It's printed on a lower quality card than Octarius Into the Dark. So if you played the previous edition of Kill Team and you've got Octarius and Into the Dark, probably your Octarius box has your Octarius set in. Probably your Into the Dark. My Into the Dark box has 2 sets of Into the Dark in, and they're both really good, high quality, rigid, glossy boxes. I've also got the Horus Heresy big box. Like that holds my Beta Decima stuff in it, right? Because that's a really nice high quality box as well. And so Games Workshop have kind of gone up and down on the quality of these boxes before. Some of the boxes like the Chalnath box and the the ones that weren't the first box of the season were of a lesser quality. They were like corrugated cardboard stuff. That isn't that. This is just like really thin. As I've tried to show in this bottom photograph of me kind of flexing it with my fingers, it's just really thin and doesn't seem particularly rugged. In fact, when my box arrived, there are actually some holes in the top of the box here from where the sprue had poked through the thin cardboard upper. So, yeah, not a good quality box. Games Workshop could do better. I think, I can't prove it. Zimbad's been talking about the print quality on the cards and the print quality on the battle battle board, the fold out board that comes with the terrain. They're different. They're not all worse. I don't think they're worse. They're just different. I think Games Workshop's just trying to use a different printing house. Maybe they're trying to be less dependent on the China shipping and so forth. And so maybe that printing house just has different options for the things that they can do. But yeah, the box is worse. Also, it won't hold the assembled terrain when it enclosed fully. Like, I don't normally care. Like, why would you care about the packaging? Because normally with Games Workshop stuff, you buy it, you open the box, you build it, you throw the box away, and you put the miniature on a shelf and look at it. But with the terrain, I do like it when I can store the terrain in the box that it comes in. That's a big bonus to me. And you can't really. I sort of have it on my shelf as pictured with the lid. The lid does go on, but it's just like doesn't close by about an inch. I don't travel with my terrain. So, really, I might have to travel with it, like, at most, like, once or twice a year if I'm going somewhere to play Kill Team, like, on it as a one-off. But it's not like I'm a member of, like the Not to Kill Team guys are always taking their terrain to events and things and mucking in. So if you're someone that travels with your terrain, you're going to want to look into the appropriately sized, really useful box for storing Hivestorm, because I don't think the Hivestorm box is going to do it in terms of its kind of protective qualities and the fact the lid doesn't fully close. I think you're going to want to replace that with, a plastic box at your convenience. And if you've worked that out already and you know exactly which box people should buy, really useful or otherwise, please do leave a link in the comment. Or I think you can't leave a link, but like you want the, 12-litre really useful box number 5 or whatever, it would be a really useful comment for someone to make if they happen to know the exact specification of box that will fit the terrain. But that was just something that bothered me, so now it can bother you. That's how this YouTube thing works. But that's it. Final thoughts. I told you it was going to be a shorter one today, so I just wanted to cover off the actual plastic in the box. I'm not throwing shade, all right, but it is weird to me that all the people that got this early, and even though couple of channels that I've previously really enjoyed their coverage of like building stuff and how do you build it and the pitfalls and that, nobody's really covered the plastic. Nobody's like, I haven't built the Aquilons or the Vespid myself yet, but nobody's like, when I finally get around to it, I can do another video like this, because no one's done it yet. Nobody's been like, when you're building the Vespid, make sure wings 57 isn't pointing backwards, or whatever it might be. Like, I'm making stuff up because I don't have the experience, but I do value this kind of thing, and it surprises me that more people don't do it. What do you think I should do about this stupid? It really bothers me, this lidless bin of a thing. I was thinking of doing like a 3D scan of the inside and printing like something on my 3D printer to go inside, but I couldn't master doing a 3D scan on my mobile phone with the software that I found. I just couldn't make it work. So maybe I'll just try and bodge something out of like plastic art. I don't know. If anybody's already designed something that I can 3D print and just pop in there, that would be amazing, because it's a little bit beyond my skill set at the moment. But yes, thank you to all my members and subscribers. Some people, I think, are channel members and aren't on the Discord. Like, the Discord's free, and some people are actually paying to support me and aren't even on the Discord because there's more. I've been looking at the, I always look on the Discord at the list of members in the members-only room to see what members we have. But when I had a little look at the Discord, the actual YouTube page today, there's a few more. So if you've got a membership, join the Discord, be part of the community. Really, really good. But thank you to everybody, and I'll see you again on Friday, when hopefully we'll get back on the wagon. Unless Games Workshop hits us with some news, we'll get back on the wagon with doing the team rundowns, and I'll try and bash out a team rundown Friday, Saturday at least. We'll see what's going on with that. I want to do the Space Marine team, so it's going to be Legionaries next, and then Thousand Sons, and then probably Phobos after that. All right. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.